7th grade. I miss being with you. I'm down here in my basement by myself, so I'm going to take my mask off. And we're going to do art as videos for a little while so that we can keep everybody safe. Let me show you our first project. We're going to do a fish collage. Let's take a look at what the final piece will look like. And of course, as we always do, we're going to break it down into smaller steps. We'll work on the background and the foreground, and then we'll put them all together. Let's take a look. Here's the final piece with 3 fish in their background. So for our first step, we're going to need to draw some fish. Here's an example of one of the fish. Each of you will do 3 different fish to put into your collage. He's all finished and ready to be glued into the background. So let's talk about how we made him. He's on newspaper. The newspaper doesn't have any headlines or photographs in it. It's just patterned words in the background. And so this kind of helps us give the fish a little bit of texture in the background without really even reading. You can see how big it is. It's about as big as my hand, and that's what you would like to do with yours also, is do 3 fish about that big. In your packet, you're going to have some newspaper. Really look at the newspaper to figure out what works best. Newspaper that has nothing on it is not going to work for us. Oh, look, here's some newspaper that kind of has different puzzles on it. It's too busy. It's not going to work. You want just a plain background. No. Too many ads, nothing. Nah. Big headlines, nothing. Nah. Big photographs right smack in the middle, nah. Color photographs all over, as interesting it is, and we love our Braves, no. So you're going to get some newspaper that just has lots of writing. There we go. This is a great area. You can see it's about as big as my hands, so that's going to work out just fine. If you want to draw on him this way, if you want to draw upside down, that's fine. Remember, it's just a textured pattern in the background. Some people even like to do it a little bit diagonally. So once you have a surface to draw on, you're also going to find a resource. Remember, we're not going to just make these up. We want to look and see what a fish really look like. And I found these wonderful drawings. I'm going to put these in your packet too. So there's all kinds of different fish. And you decide, do you want your fish swimming to the left? Do you want them swimming to the right? Do you want fish, like here's a little barracuda swimming in around? Do you want fish with big fins? You know, do you want spiky fish? Do you want flat kind of flounder fish? Here's one that blow up puffy fish. So there's all different kinds of fish. Look at this one. That one's really crazy. When we draw these, we're not going to use a lot of details. Like we're not going to draw every single little scale on this fish. We're going to let those words on the newspaper be that sort of a texture. So when you draw this, you're just going to use those basic outlines and shapes of these different fish. Let me show you. So if I go to draw this fish in this space, I'm going to look at the basic shapes. He's got a body that's about that long, tail about that long. Not quite as long as his body. So I'm going to think about my spacing on here too. His body is an oval shape. So I'm going to start with an oval shape on my paper. Then he's sort of got a little square right there. So you want to look at the shapes of your fish and then kind of replicate that onto your paper. You guys, I looked at the roll. You are all really good artists, and it's so fun to see who is in this class. You're going to do a fantastic job with this. So draw these out. Remember, you can always erase if you make a little mistake. That's okay. Look at that funny nose. So I'm going to try to get that really strange little nose that sticks up in the air there. I don't know if he's a snob or if he's just kind of heading out. And his funny little mouth right there. And then he's got this fin in the front. Some of the fins are really flowy. Little short one, that's the fin on the other side of his body. So I'll just do a little short one right there. Got these fins on the bottom. So you can get the idea. I'm just kind of penciling these in. Now, I'm also going to pay attention to where some of these shapes are. Like, where's his eye? I'm going to put that in there. And then his gill. So I'm going to make sure I put that in there. His side fin. I want to make sure I get that in there. All right, so I'm putting in these basic shapes. And then even this line he has down his body, I think that's interesting, and that's a big enough shape. I don't need to worry about it being too small. And then, of course, I'll do this long fin on top, too. Now, with the fins, you know, they come with all these little cartilage bones in there. And I'm going to just do a couple. I'm not going to count. Remember, or keep it super simple. We don't want to do 5,000 of those little bones in there. But, you know, maybe 8 would be just great. Maybe 3 right here would be just fine. You get the idea. Don't worry about the scales. Don't worry about itty bitty tiny details. Kind of just pencil in that nice basic fish shape. Then you can get a totally different fish for your next one. Get another fish and another piece of newspaper, and you're going to do 3 of these. Alrighty? Let's see how that goes. Okay, so I have drawn my 3 fish. I did this guy kind of diagonally right here. You can see him penciled in. Then I kind of liked this long fish. I thought I'd give him a try. And I found this paper that was from a TV guide, and it had these nice long lines. So I drew him right there. And then I thought I needed to have something going the opposite direction, and I wanted a rounder shape. So I drew this guy right on here. Now you can see he probably has 20 polka dots on his body, but I drew in 7. Remember, we're going to keep it simple. Don't get too crazy. It's going to be busy enough with all that writing in the background. All right, when you get these all finished, then you're going to use your Sharpie marker to outline. Just like we always do, very carefully. We're not shading in, we're not coloring in, we're just drawing some nice outlines so that he stands out real well against that textured background. I also like this fish because he honestly had those crazy lips on there. Really, for real, he did. Look at that. I'm telling you. I just had to draw him. So you're going to outline. And then, of course, when you're finished outlining, you know what to do next. You're going to go back with your eraser and you're going to erase those pencil lines so that you just have the fish on that newspaper background. So you want 3 fish and you want them outlined with Sharpie, and then next week we will begin to color them and work on our background. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye-bye.